Do you blow things out of proportion? Do you worry about the worst case scenario? Do you feel like you're too afraid to go for that job that you won't get it? Or you're too afraid to ask that person out because they'll say no? Or do you think the worst case, you're too afraid to go to the doctors because they'll find cancer? Well, you're not alone. I'm just like that. I catastrophize everything. Even doctors have said I catastrophize everything. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to stop catastrophizing things, how to help yourself become less anxious and depressed because you do blow everything out of proportion. I do it. So I want to help you guys and talk about how we can stop doing that. And my own experiences catastrophizing things, blowing things way out of proportion. And I'm going to do that right now. Hi, I'm Sandra Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel where I talk about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder. I talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. I talk about anxiety, depression. I talk about narcissism and schizophrenia. And I wrote a childhood memoir, Life with My Schizophrenic Father. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I'm not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask in turn of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Now, when we catastrophize things, blow things out of proportion, we expect the worst. We escalate things in our mind to seem much bigger than they actually are. And by doing that, we become very anxious. We become very depressed because we think of, like for instance, my husband lost his job. If I start ruminating and catastrophizing about that, I'll think about, well, it's been 2 months. My husband hasn't had any job. We have no income. What if he doesn't find another job? And then what if he doesn't find another job and unemployment runs out? And then I'll start thinking, well, how are we going to pay for food? How are we going to pay for electricity, running water, heat, internet, or whatever? We'll have to sell the house. And then where are we going to move? Where are we going to go? We have a very sick son who's in the Boston area. You see how it snowballs. It's a snowball effect when you blow things out of proportion, when you catastrophize. It makes me very, very, very anxious. I can't sleep at night because I'm catastrophizing. It makes me very depressed. It makes me drink more because I say, oh my God, my husband's never gonna get a job. I use those, all or nothing, black and white terms. Oh, he'll never find another job. We will never be able to pay the bills. That's catastrophizing. Most things aren't as bad as they seem, and nobody knows the future, and you can stop catastrophizing, and I'm going to tell you how coming up. But I want to just share this thing from the past, this little experience about catastrophizing that I thought was hilarious. I thought it was really funny. So this is me and my husband before we had children in our old apartment. We're sitting watching TV. It's late at night, okay? I guess another night of insomnia. And across the carpet, I see this humongous creature. Insect, bug, I don't know what it was. Spider? I don't know what it was. The TV was on, and there was no lights were on. It was late at night. We just had the TV. So the light from the TV cast this big shadow and whatever was walking across our carpet. So I got hysterical. I said, oh my God, Andrew, look, it's huge, look at it. Because it was casting a big shadow. So my husband says, calm down, I'll get it. Come in to save the day. And he found out, you're screaming hysterical over an ant. It's just an ant. But the shadow it cast was much bigger. So it made it look much bigger than it really was. Well, this is what happens when you and I catastrophize. It's just like that little ant throwing that big shadow, right? it makes things seem much bigger than they actually are. And all it was a little ant, right? But in my mind, it was like this 16-leg spider, venomous, who was going to kill me. I didn't know what it was. So let's figure out, well, how do we stop doing that? Like, it's kind of like ingrained in us to do that, right? I'll tell you the reason why I do that is because I feel like I'm better prepared, like prepared for battle. When I expect the worst, it feels like I'm preparing myself for battle. I'd rather expect the worst and then be pleasantly surprised that it didn't happen than go in completely naive and, ignorant of and thinking, oh, well, everything will work out, everything's going to be fine, and then find out the opposite. Like, I'm not prepared at all for the bad news. So it feels protective to blow things out of proportion for me. It feels like a protection, like I'm prepared for battle. I know it's going to be bad. I know it, and I'm already prepared. But it doesn't prepare me at all. It just makes me extremely anxious, depressed. I have panic attacks. I have insomnia. It brings those cortisol levels up in my body that can give me heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke. It does all the bad things. And if it really is bad news or anything, it didn't prepare me at all. If that really was a venomous bug or something, right? How prepared was I? I wasn't. So I'm just kidding myself. It's just a false belief. So in order to, stop, to try not to do that, stop catastrophizing things, stop blowing them up. First, you have to start noticing when you're doing it, okay? Like, oh my God, it feels like I'm catastrophizing again. I'm thinking the worst case scenario, and you are aware that, yes, I have a habit of doing this. I have a habit of thinking that the worst of things, and that makes me very anxious or makes me depressed or stops me from doing something, like it will stop me from, like when I was younger, my father always told me that I shouldn't drive because where we live in Boston, they're crazy drivers and you'll get in an accident and all this stuff. So every time I try to get in the car and drive, I thought, oh, I'm scared I'll get in an accident. And I got a ticket. I got a ticket from the police will give me another ticket. I thought of all these things, and it prevented me from driving for many, many years. I stopped myself from driving because I catastrophized what will happen if I drive, right? The police will give me another ticket. They'll pull me over like they did before. I'll get in a bad accident. I could end up in the hospital. I could, wreck the car. I could total the car. All these worst case scenarios. That's what's happening when you catastrophize. You're escalating everything in your brain. You're blowing things up out of proportion. So first of all, you observe that you're doing that. The second thing is to stop and challenge yourself. Okay, what if I got in the car and I didn't get in an accident and the police didn't pull me over and I go do my errand and I come back in one piece, I don't total the car, What if that happens? What if my husband does find another job and it's better paying or it has a brighter future to it? Or if he doesn't, maybe he'll find another career path to go on and find something, more challenging in a different field or something. So try to challenge yourself. And the third part about it is to rewrite your thoughts. But you have to challenge. You first have to observe and notice you're having your thoughts. You're blowing things out of proportion. Second, you have to pause and start to challenge those thoughts. Okay, but what if this doesn't happen? What if I take this test and pass the test? Even better, what if I pass it with flying colors? What if I ask that person out and they say yes? What if I go to the doctors and they don't find anything wrong with me? They tell me I'm healthy. What if I go out and drive the car and, come back home and do the errand and the car is not totaled, I'm fine, I didn't get in an accident, a police officer didn't pull me over, then you have to rewrite those thoughts, okay? And that's not always easy, but I do that every day on my YouTube channel. I rewrite the thoughts because I come on and I've lost 5 subscribers now in the last 4 days. And I haven't been paid since December. So January, February, March, April, 4 months I work 7 days a week and I don't get 0 pay because you have to get $100 to get paid. Guess how much money I have at the end of this month? I have $98.95. I'm $1.25 short of getting paid. So I probably will definitely get paid next month, May, but I haven't got paid January, the whole month of January, the whole month of February, the whole month of March, and the whole month of April. 4 months with no pay. And I work 7 days a week on weekends, on holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, and I don't get paid a cent. I could just say, I'm giving up. You know what? This is worthless. This is, I put out everything and get nothing. And I'm never going to be success. I'm never going to get paid. I'm never going to be anything. I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. I could catastrophize it in my mind, but I stop and observe what I'm doing. And then I pause and I challenge myself. And I say, okay, why do you think this is? And I look at the last few days and I notice I've been talking a lot about therapy and my psychologist, my unethical psychologist who have essayed me, who I had sex with, and yada, yada, yada. And so maybe people don't want to hear about my therapists or my therapy. That's why they're dropping out. So I said, let's have another topic. Let's talk about new things that aren't your psychologist or your therapy. And maybe that will do better. Maybe you will grow your channel on that. And I started, rewriting my story. I'll change up what I'm bringing out to people. I'll talk about different topics. So I'm rewriting my story with a more positive outcome, If I give up and just say, forget it, I haven't been paid in 4 months, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, I'm never going to succeed on YouTube, I'm never going to do well. If I catastrophize it, then what would happen? I would fail. Because I had stopped. If you stop doing something, you cannot succeed in it, right? If you stop it, you stop right there where you are, right where I am right now. No paycheck, hardly any subscribers, hardly any views. That would definitely be 100% be the outcome if I stopped. But if I don't stop, if I keep going and keep working harder and harder to come up with new topics and everything, I rewrite my story and I have a chance to succeed because I didn't stop. So you have to rewrite your story, all right? It's not easy, believe me. I come on here every single day, 7 days a week, 30 days a month, month after month, year after year, trying to rewrite my story, seeing my vision, and that's the third and final step in doing this. How to stop catastrophizing is you have to rewrite the story, see it in a different way, a more positive way instead of the negative way, right? See it in a more positive way. And I know that's not easy, and I'm not saying it's easy because it's not easy for me. It's very difficult for me. But either I do that or I give up. That's your choice. What do you want to do? I choose to fight for what I want and not give up. Because if I give up, it's an automatic fail. I failed. If I don't give up, it's not an automatic win. I'm not trying to say that. But there's a chance, right? There's no chance if I give up. 0. It's an automatic fail. It doesn't mean if I don't give up that it's an automatic win. It isn't. But there's a higher, much higher chance of getting what I want by not quitting. So you got to rewrite that. It's not easy, but if I can do it, you can do it too. So those are the 3 steps. Observe your catastrophizing, pause and challenge yourself for another outcome, and then rewrite that outcome. Rewrite it and act accordingly. Act like it's happening now. Okay? Don't act like I'm gonna fail that test, or I'm gonna get in that car accident if I go out and drive, or I'm gonna fail on my YouTube, so I'm just gonna stop now. Don't act like it's happening now. Rewrite it and act like you are a success. Act like that you will be able to accomplish what you want. Or the worst case scenario is not going to happen. Think of the best case scenario. You can do it. If you are interested in any of my books, the links to all these books are down below in the description. If you would like to support my channel, I'd really, really appreciate it now more than ever because my husband's not working. You can sober me up by buying me a cup of coffee. The links to that is down below. If you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video of mine comes out. It's 100% free. What do you got to lose? So stick around, take a chance, give it a thumbs up. Share on your social media platforms with your friends and your family. I got 2 polls out. Maybe you're interested in, responding to them. If you are, you can. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Or if you want to write me privately for a little one-on-one, my private email address is my very private one. Is down below in the description. It's Leanne, LEEANN 827@hotmail.com, and I will answer you back. And until next time, you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.